Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hero Nation Show, the place where business owners and entrepreneurs just like you come to learn tools and tactics to live more epic lives. I'm your host, John Rinehart, and beside me is the owner of Layered, the infamous
Nir Sela.
So tell me, what kind of business owner are you?
I'm an hands-on business owner. I'm there from morning till we close, and I'm roasting coffee, serving if needed, doing the dishes if needed. I'm doing everything.
Nice. So what type of business do you own?
Layered is a coffee bakery. We're doing everything from scratch. All our dishes are from scratch, of course, the cakes, and even the coffee we're roasting.
Yeah, it's right here in McKinney, downtown, right near the Hero Nation office.
Yeah.
We are frequent patrons of
Yes.
of Layered. I think they've added a couple of extra layers to my belt line. So I blame at least 2 inches on you. So thank you for that.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, so how did you get started?
So I start from New York.
Okay.
I was actually before I started with the coffee business, I was in the service industry. I was an hotel manager.
Okay, where?
In New York City.
Okay.
On 87th Street, pretty big hotel, around 400 rooms.
87th Street is in Manhattan.
Yes, in Manhattan. I was hotel manager for around 3 years, and then I started with the coffee business.
Mm-hmm.
Had 3 coffee shops. Was married, 2 kids there. And when I had the 2 kids, we wanted to move to a place we can raise kids. So we moved to Texas, where my sister lived in Plano. She have 3 girls.
Nice.
Yeah, and when we moved here, we had more time for each other. Then we got divorced too. Then I bought a place in Garland. It's called the Generator, which is also it's a cafe.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I looked for a place that similar, not really New York, but when there is foot traffic and shopping area, I didn't want to be in a mall or a shopping center. So when I found out McKinney around this square area, I fell in love and I had to find a place.
Now, what was it like owning a business in New York City? They say if you can last in New York City, if you can make it work in New York City, you can live anywhere, you can work anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, it's I think it's the life in New York. It's a big lie. You make really good money, you keep yourself busy. The expenses are really, really high.
Right.
So we used to live there. My ex-wife didn't want us to put our kids in yellow cab, so we own a car, and just to park it in our building was $600 a month. And
Hang on. So did you actually lived inside Manhattan?
Yeah, we lived in Manhattan
from outside. Or?
No. We lived in Manhattan for 15 years. Yeah. We live in Midtown, 38th and 3rd, and HOA $1,600 a month, and parking your car in the building $600 a month. Then you have the mortgage.
Yeah,
it's not not cheap to live there.
No. Man, nope. I wouldn't want to live inside Manhattan.
Yeah.
That I'd be like, nope. We're living out in Jersey and we're driving in every morning.
Yeah. Taking the train.
Yeah. So you're not originally from the United States. So where are you from originally?
So I tell everybody I'm from Waxahachie, but nobody believes me. I don't know why. But I'm from Israel. I grew up in Israel. I served the army, and after the army, I came here for a vacation, visiting my sister. Fell in love and stayed here.
Nice. Why coffee? Why pastries and the whole bakery? Why?
Coffee is the number 1 commodity, and it's our fuel. You put in your car, you put gas. For us in the morning, we all drink coffee, and it's something that will stay forever. I love coffee. I'm not a coffee snob, but I know how to appreciate good coffee. I like pastries, and some places you go, you find a good coffee place, but then the pastry are, not so good because they're buying it from other bakeries. Or you go to a good bakery and you want a good coffee with it, and just buying the coffee. So I wanted to create a place that everything is fresh, everything we make in house, We can control the coffee. We get, like I said before, we roast our own coffee. We get green bean from Ethiopia, and we're roasting it on site, and that's
this is the whole 9 yards. So it's beginning to end.
Yeah, and food, of course. We added food to that.
So how do you control? Because I know this is always like a balancing act between any really good restaurant. How are you controlling the cost of like the quality ingredients, right, and still being able to balance the bottom line at the end of the day? Because when you start raising all those these as the quality of those ingredients goes up, well, so does the cost of everything else. But yeah, how did you kind of figure out that balance? I mean, especially in Dallas, Fort Worth, we're not, it's not like we're like, oh yes, we are the hub for
yeah, you're right,
for fresh fruit and vegetables. They're right outside. You can see them growing in the patios. We're not exactly near a port, so green coffee beans from Ethiopia. That's not easy. That's like a whole other. there's a bunch of steps in this chain.
Yeah. So the good stuff that we focus on is the basics. So all the breads, except the gluten-free bread, all the breads we make in house.
Right.
I love the New York bagels. So New York bagels, actually, we also
boiled, like full-on boiled.
Yeah.
All right.
The lox that we sell, exactly. The bagel, we have bagel and lox. We get the lox. I have a friend, he's a Jewish guy from Chicago, and he sells 400 pounds in his deli of smoked salmon. So we get the same salmon that he get. We get it from Chicago once a week. And it's the market. What's the market? What other restaurant that doing breakfast offering here? We still have to be reasonably priced. So there is so much thing that we can offer, but we keeping our cost low, but making everything in-house. And if we can make it good, we'll sell it. And if we're not, we'll not sell it. Regarding vegetables and fruit, there is so many farms around Texas here, close to us. It's not exactly, it's not avocado from Mexico, but, we get what can we get, and we work with the best we can get.
Right. So what was like some of the if someone was going to open up a business in, not necessarily in McKinney, but just they're opening a business for the first time, especially like brick and mortar, right? We're not talking like digital assets or anything else, or some type of service, but they're specifically talking about brick and mortar. What would be your top 5 things for making sure that you actually are successful at opening up some type of brick and mortar store?
So for me, the first thing that I do a pro forma, and in that pro forma I put the worst number. I always put for myself when I'm opening a business, the worst number that can happen, and see if I can still survive on that number. So
do you find that number is sometimes a little bit optimistic?
It's
like if it's the worst if it can be.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it can't get any worse than that. And then you get into it and you're like, well, shit, it got a whole lot worse than that.
It didn't happen to me because, you basically lying to yourself if you do that. You're opening a business and you say, what's the worst that can happen? If I don't have people I have a cake business. If nobody order cake business for me, can my coffee sustain my employees? Can I pay the rent? We have 18 employees in Laird, and it's
wow.
You cannot. If you're 2 weeks slow, it's a big deal. If it's raining, in New York, we don't have what we have here in Texas. Here in Texas, if there is a fair, it's a slow week. Everybody's saying, oh, it's the fair. If it's raining, people say, oh, it's raining, or it's first week at school. We have excuse for everything here, and it's something new I had to adjust. In New York, we don't have it. It's snowing, and you have business coming in.
It's business as usual.
Yeah. So my first thing for me is the planning. Would be my number 1 key. Planning, work situation, what can be, location. I think it's the second thing. Make sure that you're opening. It can be a good product, but you have to open it when there is, demand for it.
Okay, so how do you find that out so most people have problems with figuring out service and demand on a product that lasts forever. Like, let's just say for some of these guys that are watching like real estate, they're like, I just have problems just figuring out, like, I just do real estate, and you're talking about no, I need to be able to hit this one target market, like, okay, cool, there's a demand for this, for the next 2 weeks, and then I need to take it away, and then still make money. So how are you able to do that with varying products at different times and still hold balance and profit? Because it almost sounds like you're in R&D mode at all times.
All time. But also, it's, for me, the location was very, very important. And when I came to the square, there is no place available. Everything was rented. And the place that I wanted was occupied. So I went to the owner of that place and I offered him a buyout from his lease. And that's how I got layered. I took over other business.
Nice. So that was already a cafe before?
No, it was a market actually.
It was a market.
Yeah. So
how do you pad in your R&D cost and make sure that you're still staying on?
It's in food. It's difficult.
Right.
Small mistake, wrong calculation. You can have good sales, but at the end of the day.
So walk me through that process on creating a new offering on your menu. What does that look like from beginning to end? Because I'm guessing that it's pretty similar whether you're talking about like a digital product or we're talking about like a new menu item on the menu. That process of discovery, R&D, being able to make your money back, and in their case, like putting a time limit on it.
Yeah. So for us we're finding a new item that you want to sell in the restaurant. We first want to see that at least we're using some of the ingredient already in a different product.
Okay, so that you're already building on top of something else that you already have.
Yes, and then we create the dish, and then we see if we like it. We're selling it we give it to all the employees. We do tasting, and then we're putting it in a formula. We have a system that calculate.
Okay. Talk to me about that.
It's breaking down by ounces. We put how much each ounce of cilantro even. It's going to even to quart of salt. It's going to the small detail and telling me how much this item going to cost me.
Right.
And based on that, we know how much to sell it for.
Okay. So, so talk to me about that system. Did you create that? Is it a software you found and leveraged?
It's food vendors, like US Foods, Cisco, all these big players. They providing you with the system. It's all the same thing. It's like an Excel that calculate for your food cost, and we're using it. It's really important key in that. So some dishes, I know how to push more because they're giving more profit. Some maybe I'll take off the menu because.
So do you also calculate in the time that it takes to make the food as well?
Yes, the labor.
Yeah. So how do you do that? Because I'm guessing that do you also calculate in even the training cost to take in like a new employee or to an employee and be like, well, I have to teach you this new thing, so it's going to cost me this amount of money to
no,
basically train
I wish.
you.
I wish I was like that on the details. We don't do that. I also, some of the dishes I don't put the labor because it's really a minute to make it. Some of the dishes, like waffle, we make the batter early in the morning, and it's you can't really put labor into that because if I go too much negative on my numbers, like I told you I do, it won't be so good. But we have to take all the small parts, even garnishing, even if you give a maple syrup with a dish or jam, or everything is calculated to the penny, and everything is calculated into the dish.
Down to the penny.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're talking about marketing costs. So I'm guessing for a restaurant that is going to be printing out menu items, new menus, pictures. What's that process?
So for me, marketing it's something. It's something that I believe in, but I'm not really paying for marketing. I never hired someone, never did an ad. There is so many newspaper here that always coming to us to it. Well, we have cool feature in the restaurant that doing the marketing for us. If you're familiar with the coffee, that we can print your face on it, or we can put your logo.
Instagram heaven.
And people taking picture of that and sharing it and how they do that. And that's bring us a lot of customers. We also came up this week with a new coffee. It's a cotton candy standing above your coffee like a cloud.
I don't see any cotton candy coffee sitting here on this desk. I don't see that. I don't know what you're talking about.
So
like we had a chance for free advertising
I have
right
to show
here.
it, yeah.
Like this, like beautiful. Here, would you like to see cotton candy coffee?
So it's a cool effect. It's actually, it's the coffee. It's sitting above the coffee and it's dripping all the sugar into the coffee. So it's a cloud,
nice.
and that's how you get all the sugar in the drink. So this thing that the item
That's fun.
the item they create that create marketing. It's more for Instagram pictures and that's promote itself.
Right. But what I mean, let's say your new coffee that's coming out. How would you then market that new coffee? Is it just by your waiters and your servers saying like, hey, we have this new coffee? Do you like print pictures of it and put it like in your little menus? Like what's the process and like when do you know to just take it away?
No, so we put on the counter if we have a special. Not every new drink, every new item we marketing. Some stuff I believe more, some stuff I believe less.
Only market what you believe in.
Sometimes there is things that I don't like, and it's the most popular dish that we have. Like our chicken salad. It's everybody's saying it's amazing. I cannot see how can I eat grapes with chicken together. So some people
my
like.
Favorite.
You see?
Don't take that away. don't touch it. Don't touch it. I want my cranberries, my grapes, and my chicken and my turkey all in my chicken turkey salad.
Yeah. But we do post on Facebook on our page, and that's helped. I guess that's our marketing: Facebook and Instagram.
Right, but you basically had a lot of times your customers do the marketing for you.
Yes.
Okay.
But for a new product, like you say, if we have a now Perlin latte. So that's we put on Facebook and Instagram, new latte, and people come and ask for it. And we have a reminder on the counter, new latte or new drink.
Right, but I like the idea that like your customers basically do the marketing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
So how long have you had Layered going at this point?
December of 2017. So
It's been
a year, 5
months.
months.
Yeah, almost 2 years.
Yeah, it's doing good. It's doing much better than my performer. That I hoping for the worst, and it's doing very good. I used to be open for dinner, but there's one owner, and I told you I'm hands-on, being here from 6:30 in the morning till 10 p.m., then running to the store and buying everything for the next day. I couldn't do it anymore, so we're focusing where we're busy, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Right.
And sometimes we have space to rent if someone want to rent. And that's what we use the space for.
Yeah, we've done that a couple of times with y'all as well.
Yep.
Yeah, which is always good. It's a good space to do it.
Okay.
So what would you say were your biggest lessons that you learned from working in New York and then moving to Texas?
In New York, doing it for all these years, you never really. I didn't spend time with the customer. It's 800 square foot. It's $31,000 a month rent, and there is traffic, and it's moving, and you have 11 barista behind the bar, but you don't connect with the employees. You don't know their name. You know their drink. You know what this guy coming in the door, with John coming in, and you know what he's drinking right now, but you don't talk. And I think here we created like a family. I'm sitting here with you, and I get texts from customers that are in Mexico right now. Went to my family business. We have a cousin of mine have a family in restaurant in Mexico, and I sent her there, and she's texting me picture. We are here, and I'm here for a year. I created so much friends, and they're like family, neighbors, and the relation here is stronger than New York. Yeah,
That's nice.
yeah.
That's really awesome. What's been the biggest challenge?
Weather, events, Sunday football. That's something that all the small events here in Texas affecting your day here.
Right.
And like I said, in New York, we don't have issue if it's a Memorial Day or if it's a Christmas or.
Well, there's so many people. There's
so many people, so much
I
traffic.
forgot what the number is. It's like every block you're walking past 27,000 people or some such
How do you
number.
know that?
Like Yeah.
But here, we have a business owner in Texas on the square. We all meeting outside on the bench and be like, oh, it's first week of school. Oh, it was fair. Oh, it's rainy yesterday, so today it's nice. So everybody out, they don't want to sit inside. We have excuse for everything. So you have to always to be creative and do stuff to bring your customer in.
Yeah,
that's the challenge.
Yeah.
In New York, you didn't have to. You just had to open the door.
Good, bad. You just had to be open.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your customer every day, and you never run out.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what's it been like with employees and hiring and retention?
I have some employees that with me 2 and 3 months before I even open Laird.
Wow. That are still there?
That are still there. I hired them 2 months for training, and they are amazing.
How?
I'm so lucky to have a Sierra, my barista. She's.
What did you do? Did you lace their shoes with gold before you walked in? What did you do?
If they ask
what
me.
did you, Nir? What did you do?
No, I'm trying to create and this was used to be challenging for me, but to create like I'm your friend, but I'm also your boss, and people, I think they appreciate that, and we have a good environment at work.
Yeah. How do you create a good work environment in your space? Restaurant business is brutal. I mean, it's known for being like one of the most brutal places that you can have.
It is, but my employees are like me. If they tell me they need to add another drink, or we need to add a dish, or remove a dish, or uniform, we all deciding together. I'm maybe the owner, but all the decisions that we make regarding except pricing not so much, but hours of the business, event we should participate. If we're doing stuff, we're going sometime on a lake, we rent the boat and we go all of us, and we're doing a lot of stuff together.
There's a lot of team building there.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
So what has it been like working in more instead of so much of a hierarchy system? You're working more as a centralized leadership style. What's that been like, and what have been the biggest challenges doing that?
It's people think you favoring someone maybe more than others, or it's hard because you trying to be the friends, and sometimes you have to be the boss, and it's challenging. I think it's easier if you're an owner and you have a manager running them, let them be the bad guy. When you come in and be like, oh, I'll talk to him. With me, when I'm hands-on, I'm there. I have to tell them maybe sometime, go clean the table, go serve them, go check on them, go this, and it's sometimes they don't see the importance of serving someone the way I see it, so that can be challenging sometimes.
Right, so creating those locked-in values,
yes,
system like that. What about training?
What about training?
What about training? Talk to me about your training systems. How do you do it? Do you have it kind of more dished out to other employees, just kind of train them up, or is it more of we all train these people together, or is it more I'm going to stick with you and I'm going to show you exactly the way I want it done? So
I have different method for different position. I have the kitchen. If I have someone, I want to see his knife skills, because I don't want to hire someone that he can do all this and next day he's cutting his finger. So when I'm hiring someone, I'm making sure that he worked with knife before. We're letting him cut vegetables in different styles, and that will be
different styles, as in julienne.
Yeah. And that will be the kitchen. I don't care, you're not supposed to come in and make my dishes the way I want to, because it takes time to learn. But the first step in the kitchen for me in training is to see you have knife skills, you work in the kitchen, you can be safe. Then is on the schedule. I'm going to add them as an extra guy. So if I usually have 3 guys every day in the kitchen, it will be the 4th guy, and slowly we'll let him do stuff.
Right.
For barista, we're doing it after hours or on slow days. We're being we want to see that you can make drinks and steam the milk correctly. I usually don't hire people from Starbucks because it's hard to train them.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I know some of my friends work at Starbucks. I know some people that work at the headquarters for Starbucks, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you guys suck.
You know what they build? It's amazing. They have,
Yeah.
I don't know, 33,000 locations or something.
Hey, consistency and mediocrity. Sometimes if you are consistently mediocre, everyone loves
I like
you.
it. Yeah. And
Consistency will win over quality half the time if the
Yeah.
quality isn't consistent.
And for serving, I just have someone, if you are new and you want to serve, I don't care if you serve for 14 years or you start last week, you're shadowing someone for 2 days. Then one day I'm teaching you how to use our system. We have a table on the, you can serve anyone from the tablet. You can take payments. And I'm teaching them on the tablet. It's very simple. It's user friendly, but it can be, you can easily make mistake on that as well. So
What was it like starting? You know, because I know you worked as a manager and stuff like that at the hotels in New York. But what was it like when you first tried to own a business in the United States? What was that process?
Not difficult, you know. Today online you can find everything. Before opening Laird and before owning Generator, I used to have also a watch business.
So you've been an entrepreneur multiple times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody want to hire me, so I have to create something for myself.
It's okay. I'm unhireable myself. No one wants to. No one wants to employ me. Everyone wants to hire me, but they don't want to employ me.
Yeah, you know, when I moved from New York here,
Yeah.
I like the hotel, to being hotel manager. I love that in New York, and I came here and I started interviewing for small hotel with like 20 rooms, 40 rooms, 60 rooms. In the middle of the interview, they told me, "No, thank you." You know, because I understand the language here. It's
You mean you don't have that Texas twang?
no,
What are you saying there, son?
no. You know, for the service industry, it's in New York. There is no issue. Everybody from a different place, and
Right.
but here, I think you have to be a local.
I had issues with that when I moved to Australia, and I started work there, and they would hear me talk, and they would be like, "The answer is no," you know. So because my accent was actually was a little bit more like this, a little bit more of a Texas twang going on.
Oh wow!
And I'd talk, and people would just be kind of like,
What do you think?
"Right, son, I thought, right, you ain't gonna work."
Wow!
And they would just be like, "Yeah, right, you can just keep on going.
Oh wow!
You know, appreciate you, but you just keep on moving there." And so I actually started changing my accent over to this.
Oh wow!
Because apparently, if I talked like a weather forecaster, they could understand me just fine. Okay, so what do you think like were like? Give me like two parallels in between owning a watch business and owning a business in the food industry. What were some things that you kind of took over?
No, it's you have to have love for the business. You know, watches is my hobby. I have a huge watch collection, and it's
What kind of watches?
I don't know where to start. I have a Roger Dubuis. I have a Hublot. I have vintage Rolexes. I have Cartiers. I have vintage Omegas.
I'm gonna be googling all these later. I'm not gonna know what they are. I don't. I got Rolex. I got Omega.
Yeah.
I don't know what anything else is.
Yeah. So I have passion for that, and I also love interior design. And so I'm excited when I open a new place. I'm excited just to how it's going to be designed, how the seats going to be, how high going to be the counter. So I think it's the hobbies that I'm trying to work with something that I have love for. You know, I won't do it if I won't love doing it.
Right. So love for the business is the first one that you kind of like, no matter whether you're in watches or that. And what's the second one?
And the second one is, you know, be there. Do that also, you know. I just don't want to open it to say, hey, I have a restaurant.
Don't open it for ego.
No. It's something that I want to do every day, and I'm excited for tomorrow. That we're going to open tomorrow. It's weird, but
You ready?
yeah.
So top 3 mistakes.
Relationship with employees.
Relationship with employees. Okay.
That's
We're going deep. All right, here we
that's
go.
that's
Here we
top,
go.
that's top.
Okay. So
Fixed
romantic
nature.
relationships with employees.
Yes.
Okay. So that's a sticky. We actually just did. Wayne and I just did. We may have to air the episode after this, but we just recorded a whole episode on like love in the workplace.
Oh wow.
What is it? What does it look like? How do you deal with it? Is it good? Is it bad?
Mine was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough. All right, we'll move on from that. So relationships in the workplace, that was one of your number one big mistake. What was number
For
two?
me.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah, for me. Contracts. So
Okay.
sometimes promising, so you feel bad for someone because they don't have a budget for something. So I give a lot. Sometimes I have people that have a budget for a cake that's it's $300, but they have 700 guests, and I'm offering myself to give them free stuff and committing, and then in the end, you're losing money. But so just I know.
So basically, like over-promising and not doing like contracts.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing that when you, and I see this all the time. I've done it myself. When you let me see if it's the same with you. You give something to someone for a really good low price, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, and can you do?" And then can you do?
And you know what? It's always when I get like a bad feedback, it's only from the people that you did the most for. So for me, I have to keep it really just business, and not to give too much or not to be extra nice, because it's in the end, it's your business, and that's how you're paying your bills, how you're paying your employees,
Right, and you're not trying to be an asshole about it. You're just
no.
Like, hey, this is what you got to do.
Yeah.
And you have to feed your family at the end of the day too.
Yeah. The third one is also contract. Leasing. When you lease something, maybe you find a great location, but sometimes a bad lease. You can have a great rent for the first year or two, and then it's jumping. The rent 20%, 15%, and maybe your business doesn't jump. That big. It's happened to me before. It's happened to me in New York, and those numbers there, it's not a joke. Your first year is 29,000.
20,000 a month.
29,000 a month, and your second year is $31,000, and you're like, 29, 31, same thing, and it's those numbers are. And
then it jumps 50% off of of that, and you're like, also like, oh shit, it just hit 45,000.
Yeah. So just be really careful. Sometimes you fall in love with the location, you're trying everything to get it, and you don't think about the future.
So start with the end in mind. Is what I hear you saying.
Yeah. It's because it's happened to me a lot that I'm thinking to myself, this is the best location. There is no way I can find a better location than that. And then the next day we find much better location. So, if it doesn't work out, it's okay. Drop it and you'll find a better location.
Yeah. So you're open to the new possibilities.
Yes.
Yeah, don't be locked in. That's awesome. Dude, I appreciate you coming in. This has been a fun conversation.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Guys, make sure you go over to Layered. When you're in McKinney, when you're visiting us here at the Hero Nation, make sure you go over there, get some good coffee, get some good pastries. It's great food. It's great fun.
Thank you.
Dude, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So, guys, check that out. Check us out on the web, theheronation.com. Check us out on, got us on iTunes. You can listen to us on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, on Pocket Podcasts. You can listen to us on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. And be your own hero.